Hi everyone, welcome back to Up Next. I'm Carrie. I'm joined as usual by my beautiful and talented co-host Kalen. We just sat down and listened to all of the music that came out over the weekend, and we are here to tell you about some of our favorite first impressions. How are you doing, Kalen?
I'm doing great, and that's right. We listened to all of the music that came out. Every last
single
drop
thing.
of it, every little crumb. We scrounged it all up.
We hoovered it up like the Roomba on the bottom of the floor of rateyourmusic.com. And
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, not affiliated. It's a website.
But supported emotionally.
Despite everything.
Not financially.
Despite everything, we continue to be supported by Rate Your...
Despite our brief IP ban from the site.
Oh my god.
There's a whole thing. We got it worked out. We were rating the music a little too harshly.
We rated the music a little too close to the sun, for sure. Yeah, and we wrote them a very groveling email that was like, I was just looking for music.
So, I'm sorry. But boy, we did find some good music. The ban has been lifted.
Yes.
Joyous day.
We're here, a joyous day, talking about stuff that came out on Friday, April 18th. Kaylin, do you want to jump in and tell us about the first album?
Yeah, I'll get it started. I'm going to start off with Insatiable by Divide and Dissolve. This is a band that we have already covered with her release Systemic from 2023, right when we were getting started too.
Yeah, that was within like the first month of us doing this project, and it was a very exciting early project for us.
Yes, and it is so cool to see this artist has continued to grow since that first release, which was very much steeped in just like straightforward doom metal. Mm-hmm. And this album explores some more classical and neoclassical themes. And we've seen a lot of like classical influenced rock and alternative music.
Yeah.
But the way that this artist approaches that crossover is so far removed from the Black Country New World-osphere.
Yeah,
and it's such a breath of fresh air to me.
Yeah, if you listen to the pod, we had a discussion about this sort of neoclassical revival, but I see what you mean in that it's done differently here, and I think even the like doom metal perspective is part of the reason why,
Is part of the reason why I like it so much?
Or no, why it sounds different. I don't know.
Like,
of
course.
Why it comes across with a different impression.
Yeah, and it's really these two separate sounds. There's not a ton of crossover, like, sonically. They're just kind of, like, butting right up into each other. So it's like these orchestral swells turn into these, like, dissonant drones instead, and then it flows back into the melodic stuff. So there's more of this going back and forth and less immediate overlap. And that comes from, I think, some of the themes in the album. Like her previous release too, this album kind of tackles concepts around colonialism, white supremacy, indigenous sovereignty. So I kind of see those two sounds as like this new like creative force, and then more of these like stagnant old ways, and trying to bring life back into where this person is from. And I know that she's based in Australia as well, which has a really strong like indigenous rights movement. Which is the push and pull. Yeah, good stuff. It's a great record, great work, knocked it out of the park again.
Yes, and I love that they, both sort of pull on sounds that are clearly in their wheelhouse, I guess, but are also trying new things. I think that's cool, and I think that's a way to keep metal exciting. Mm-hmm. You got to be pulling in a lot of different influences so it doesn't sound stale.
Oh yeah, I skipped over like a million just like generic death metal records this week. I mean, I'm sure most of them are good.
Well, there's a lot of metal, a lot of techno that comes out that is pretty run of the mill, but they're fun to make, so I'm
can't be mad about
there.
It. Yeah. Well, you have some really interesting picks this week too.
I do. I've got some fun ones. Up next, I guess this is like an Easter release.
Oh my god, that was the name of the podcast. Sorry, go ahead. You said Up Next.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh my god,
Easter.
Kind of an Easter release, yeah. I don't usually stray towards these like Christian or evangelical projects, but this one is very beautiful, and it's kind of got a different perspective, which I liked. So the album is called Jesus Christ Ne Deçoit Pas by Jess. The album title means Jesus Christ does not disappoint. this artist, I believe, is from West Africa and then maybe came to the States. I don't really know their story, but they're credited with bringing, like, country Americana to West Africa in, like, the 80s.
Very cool.
He had some kind of near-death experience and, like, some health issues and stuff, and in a moment of desperation went into a church and found that, you know, a lot of connection there and, like, healing through that. And so it's sort of gratitude for life is something that I really liked about it. I think the near-death experience does shift a lot of people's perspective on how they, like, use their day-to-day. And so it's cool, and I respect it for that reason. And it sounds wonderful. It is that, like, country Americana kind of folk sound, but it's in this...
like this very bright
dreamy
music within, like, the African tradition.
Yeah, it's really... very beachy and summery and relaxed, peaceful. These are all words I would use to describe it. So, yeah, I thought it was cool.
Very cool. And I was thinking, too, about the crossover between country music and gospel music.
Yes, yeah,
you know,
that's definitely there.
That's such, like, a rich tradition, too. You can't, like... So I can't be too mad about that being the central theme of this album.
Also, while we're talking about it, it is worth mentioning that, like, also country music comes from blues music,
which comes from African music.
Yeah, like black music in general, and you know, that is where it all comes from. But just at this point, kind of,
this is like when you Google translate something into one language and then back into the other language again.
Yeah, or they sort of have their own tributaries and ways of branching off over time that then, you know, reunite, and that's why they sound so good together. It's like because they do have overlap.
Awesome.
Yeah, throughout history.
I love that.
It's definitely worth mentioning that too. I'm like, he brought country there. I'm like, that's actually where country came from, by the way.
Sort of,
well, kind of. I mean,
in a roundabout way. Yeah.
Historically, I feel like it's worth saying. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. No, I think that's definitely a good disclaimer. And if you want to learn more about where country music came from, Michael has a series about like the entire history of music, not the entire history of music, but like the history of underground music. Starting with sort
of an anthology of different genres and how they started to the present day type stuff, and like projects that you can really hone in on to get that idea across that he's trying to say. So he started off with blues.
Because that's where all like rock music comes from.
Yeah, and that's kind of the starting point. Definitely related in that way, and a really, really good video.
Good stuff. Check it out. All right, my next project is also has some religious themes, but in the opposite direction. It is The Great God Pan by Painkiller. This is a trio featuring John Zorn and some other folks within the experimental jazz scene. So our Zorn heads should be excited about this one. I'm sure some of you are listening. I would hope. This is crazy. I mean, if you are familiar with this artist's music already, you know to expect some chaos.
The unexpected.
Expect the unexpected. This is some good hell jazz. It's dark and intense and metallic.
Yeah.
So it's not just like straightforward jazz. There's like...
no, straightforward is not a word I would use for this. No, it's super cool. And so... Sometimes I have talked about free jazz before, and we're like, "Is this free jazz? Is it? Would you call this free? Is this something you would?" It feels very free to me.
It is very free. it induces feelings of a panic for sure. This is also actually inspired by the Gothic novella of the same name, which I found for free on the internet. So there's some homework for you if you'd like to listen to this album and read along with the book. It's really fun.
Oh, that's
a very immersive experience.
Put it all together.
I'm pretty sure John Zorn has an actual like demonic contract that makes him able to do all this stuff. Tale as old as time.
Like all the time. Yeah, of course.
Like he just puts out like 1 billion records every 2 months.
Yeah, literally.
Like it's just like constant, like new project. Like,
it's a deal with the devil. Yeah, he got golden fiddle or whatever.
Good for him.
He's got to play music all the time now. That's great. And a very fun and weird project. We love.
Awesome.
Love to see it. Up next, I also have a sort of a classic outside noise pick in the form of some like field recording sound collage type thing, which I love. The album is Onaip by IMI. It is really cool. It's like music concrete, which does have this spirit of bringing everyday sounds into music and like the relationship between those, and that's different. This is like almost just a study or like a sketchbook full of these studies in sound and how sound works. So they're playing instruments, but they're also just like hitting pans in their house, household objects, things they found around outside, and sort of layering them and just playing with the times between them, the patterns, how they all line up.
Yeah.
And so it's really fun, and we do get projects kind of like this sometimes, but I like these sounds in particular. So
yes, it's really
cool.
I love how there's so much musicality even with these found instruments.
Oh yeah, it's nothing about it is like grating or untreated or anything. Like it is intentional, and they are pleasant sounds. I really like it.
Yes, and it reminds me too of the Picasso quote that's like, it took me 5 years to learn how to paint like the masters, and then 5 decades to learn how to paint like a child. Oh, and it's just like literally like the banging on pots and pans.
Yeah,
I mean it's more than that, but it does have that.
Well, and people
sort
say,
of like childhood.
and like I was playing like I used to when I was a kid, and like kids play. I'm like, no, you need to play. Everyone needs to play, and like that is something that's important to unlock. And so it is cool to just see, like I said before, almost like a sketchbook collection of experiments. And and the sounds are great.
Awesome. Well, I found some more pretty great sounds, some playful sounds even, I guess. I don't know if we should call it that. This is music from Pervert's Paradise by Eva Borealis, and much like the last project was also accompanied by a novella, or I guess was inspired by a novella, but still has this supplementary material. This is the soundtrack to a short film. I know normally we don't do film soundtracks like that.
But this isn't like by MGM or whatever. This is like independent films.
Yeah. And if I'm reading this correctly, I believe that the producer, director, writer, editor is also this artist.
Okay,
I think this is a all-encompassing venture by a multidisciplinary, multimedia extraordinaire.
Which, as we talked about in our AMA, we love to see.
Love to see it.
Yes.
And then also is a very collaborative work, too. I mean, as a full-on, like, short film, you could do it totally solo, but there's a few actors here.
Roping your friends. You got you.
The film itself is certainly worth watching as well. It's it reminded me of like a crossover between John Waters and David Lynch. I know I sound like the most annoying like base level.
Like it could be anything.
It could be anything, but those are the two references I pulled because obviously the title of the film alludes to this sort of like weird,
Pervert's
filthy
Paradise, being
type of Waters-esque like seedy underbelly, which Lynch did too, but
Lynch did a bit, but there's also a darkness and like a surrealness here.
Yeah.
That I think is maybe where you're pulling the Lynch from.
Yeah, a lot of the editing is very dreamlike, but it's all from a very modern perspective, so it feels more like digital artifacts and very like online in all of its aesthetics. So check it out.
Yeah, I love that, and I love when it's all together. Again, another one that's like a companion piece.
Yes, and the music also kind of reflects those references as well, so there's a lot of like Badalamenti style moody overtones and things, so
it's got some vibes, is what I'm hearing.
It basically has some vibes.
Oh, yeah. Wait, it was good and you liked it.
It was pretty good and I liked it. I think that everyone should watch this movie, get a bunch of friends together. Don't, like, pre-screen it or anything. It'll totally be fine. It's not going to make anyone uncomfortable.
It won't make things weird at all.
It won't make things weird. I didn't make it weird by talking about it here and now. This is a safe space, though.
This is a container.
Carrie, do you have one more album?
Yeah, I keep bumping my mic, sorry. I do have one more album to talk about. It is Set by Flower Storm. Yes, it's really pretty. We mentioned earlier how we do get a lot of techno every week that sounds kind of the same from start to finish. And so whenever we get techno or dance music that doesn't do that, it really stands out. And this album is an example. These artists are from Iran. We've had a few artists out of Iran recently making some extremely amazing music. And this is no exception for sure. It has a lot to do with Iranian folklore. That's why I mention it, which I'm totally unfamiliar with, but it definitely has
not even a little bit
that sort of folk mystic spiritual kind of bend to it, but it is like techno music. So it's like if you could learn folklore, go to the museum, whatever, but you're at the club, which I love. Love. It's a perfect combo, and not a very typical one. We don't see folk and dance music, or I guess you could have like folk dance is a separate thing,
right?
than,
Yeah,
like,
not like
club.
folk and like EDM.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and this has definitely more of that.
Totally. And I feel like we've seen a few of these more conceptual, experimental, electronic and folk music crossovers, but I think there's something about just like 4 on the floor.
Yeah.
Just techno that makes it like more danceable and just straight up like fun. You can do it. Yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah, which I love about it too. It is straight up fun. And I love seeing, obviously, people tying a very rich centuries, eons old history with more contemporary stuff. I just feel like it makes it really fresh. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I guess that brings us to the end of our show. Carrie, what are you looking forward to this week?
Oh my goodness. Well, tonight I have playoffs for one of my volleyball leagues.
Exciting.
It's week 1. So hopefully we win and move on to week 2. Fingers crossed for that. And we are vending at the Richmond Street Flea Market in Philadelphia on Sunday.
Very exciting.
Yes, so if you are in the Philly area, if you're going to be at the flea market, come say hi. We're going to be selling a bunch of our tapes. We'll have a bunch of patches, some random stuff, jewelry.
We'll just have other stuff
clothes.
too.
We'll
Yeah,
have a
kind of.
table.
We're really embracing the flea market side of Richmond Street Flea Market.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and zines. We've been working on zines, so we'll have a whole table of stuff, and that's. I'm honestly probably most excited for that.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm looking forward to seeing The Room on Friday.
Oh my god, that's gonna be so fun.
Seeing The Room, and maybe. I really hope to meet Tommy Wiseau. I would love to.
He will
shake
be
his
there.
hand.
That's why.
I'm not like I have to take
I'm not a
pictures.
room hit.
I'm
Oh,
not.
I see.
I usually don't like have to take a selfie with the people that I meet or whatever.
Right, we're not. Neither of us are very like starstruck people.
No, but I'm. It's gonna be embarrassing. No, I'm kidding. It's not gonna be that bad. But
You're like, I'm gonna start crying. No, it will be iconic. It will be.
It's gonna be
iconic.
so iconic. I want to have full like dark sunglasses. I want to kind of match.
Okay, love. Oh my god, one time, I wish I could remember who said it. It was some comedian had a joke that was like, you people trying to do your Charlie XCX looks with your middle part and your sunglasses, you look like Weird Al. But I feel like...
But no, they look like Tommy Wiseau.
I feel like Tommy Wiseau's another punchline for that. I just thought about you with your sunglasses.
She kind of stole his look. Yeah.
Literally.
I'm not going to wear a wig. Like, I don't need the full fantasy, but I think if we're both wearing sunglasses indoors at night, that's gonna take it.
I love
take
that.
It there.
Very matching. Wait, how long ago did that movie come out? Was it like 20 years?
Yeah, like it's probably 30 years ago
Probably
at
30.
this point.
I just need to brace myself for how old Tommy Wiseau might be.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, it's like disputed, but I just need to picture, what he looked like in the movie.
I think he's gonna look exactly the same.
Okay.
I think he's gonna appear completely unaged.
he has the fountain of vitality.
Ooh, of vitality.
I don't know, man. Oh, another album I wanted to bring up really quick. I know we're closing out here. New album by our friends My Wife's an Angel. It's called I Bet. It's really good. And we like it. And
we interviewed them. Michael interviewed them,
which
is also on our channel. Go watch it.
We interviewed them, and I think we have a video for it coming out soon, too.
Oh, yeah, we also will have a full-on review. Alrighty, well.
I think that does it.
Bye.
Bye, guys.